This one was really interesting that kind of popped up throughout this week because it's more interesting on the Steam side, and that's the possibility of Steam and Epic Game Store being added to like the Xbox storefront.
I saw this conversation.
The Epic Game Store one, I don't see that happening. I just don't. But the Steam one, though, that one is really interesting to me because it's something that I legitimately could see happening for a few different reasons. In my own opinion, one random fact that I saw, which as soon as I saw this and I saw everyone in the call, I just immediately further asked, like, how does this guy get into this shit? But I think Gabe personally posted. I'm not sure who posted it, but I saw the photo making its rounds of a Teams call with Gabe Newell, Phil Spencer, someone else from higher up at Xbox, all talking about stuff. But Jeff Keighley's there, and I'm like, all right, so why is Jeff even there? I don't know. This guy has just unbelievable connections. But like for Steam being added to Xbox, the possibility of that. And just adding that extra extension to it, I could see it happening for a few different reasons. Like, number one, I know Gabe has such a tight relationship with Microsoft and with Phil Spencer. Good example being the Call of Duty thing, where he did not sign the contract because he openly said, I trust them. I don't need to sign the contract. Steam has, honestly wanted to try to get into the console business. They've tried and failed. Yeah. We have the Steam Deck that's doing really well. Steam Deck 2 that's on the way. They're doing their thing there. So in my mind, like I could see a route where to get Steam in the console business, they just put it on Xbox and just do a partnership there. I don't think it's going to happen though. I don't, but I could see it happening. It wouldn't shock me if it happened.
You're fucking dumb.
I could see it happening. I don't think it will, but I could see it happening.
It would be okay. Okay, just a quick thing.
Yeah, because John's been shaking his head the entire time.
It's the stupidest thing because why would you? Okay, one, Steam and Epic both come into it. That'd be the stupidest thing.
That would be something.
They are competing platforms on the PC marketplace.
Yes, I agree.
But here's the thing. Steam is where all the games go, typically, for PC. If the game is going to be on Xbox, they go to Microsoft, and you just go to the Xbox store. You just go to the store page. That's all you do. Why the hell would you want a separate store page? Because then here's this question. Okay, Steam comes there, but the game's on Steam, but it's also on the Xbox store.
Yep.
Where the fuck do you buy it? Does it matter?
Everywhere.
If it doesn't matter where you buy it, why are you incorporating a second store?
Because
it's just
John,
it doesn't make any sense.
It needs to give people a reason to buy it again. They're trying the Nintendo mentality.
The only thing that would make sense in this would be a partnership where if the game is available on both platforms and you connect your accounts to it, that you could download and play it on both. But then, I mean, that'd be a whole verification process. But that partnership would be fine by me. If games I bought on Steam I had access to on my Xbox, and it was just a verification that it's like I don't need cross saves. I don't need any of that. But if I had access to it, that'd be great. There is no need for a second or a third store if Epic was involved. Mm-hmm. It's pointless because just the fact that you would assume that for Xbox you have a Steam store, you have an Epic store, then you have the Microsoft store.
Yep.
What happens if a game is in all three locations?
Yep.
Can you accidentally buy it 3 times?
Yep.
I would go yes.
And could you also access it on the respective platforms? Like if you buy it once, do you have it on all 3? There's a lot of questions.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's this just muddies the water. It's pointless. The only thing that would make sense, and it does not make sense for Epic to be involved with a Steam deal or something, because like I said, they're competing entities.
Yep.
But if the only thing that would make sense would be some sort of partnership where you wouldn't have to buy the games 2 or 3 times. Like in some instances, like if I wanted to buy it on my Xbox, I could buy it there and have it on Steam. Even if it was some, like I said, some long-winded verification process where it may not show up immediately and it'll show up eventually. That'd be fine. But just the muddiness of having potentially 3 separate stores that you would have to navigate to, it's bad enough on PC. We complain about it on PC already.
Yeah, where you have like a bunch of different launchers.
Well, it's like we already. It's like the main one is Steam.
Yeah,
but we already aren't happy that there's Steam versus Epic exclusivity rights and stuff that we have to deal with. We don't need any of that nonsense on console, because console has been excluded from it primarily, like the Steam and Epic side of it. Mm-hmm. Because when it comes to console, it just goes to the store. You don't have to worry about where to buy it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's either on the console or it's not. And if it's on the console, just go to the store. You'll find it.
Yeah. That's my whole thing. It doesn't make sense. Mm. Yeah. No, it's like I had to see this. I just got mad.
Yeah. No, because of the fact there's so many different layers to it, that's why I don't think it will happen. But it's one of those things that the gaming industry is a wild industry, and it just wouldn't shock me if it happened, especially because of like the openly loving relationship and partnership that, you know, Steam seems to have with Microsoft. That's the only reason why I could see them trying to figure out a way to make it work. Yeah. I don't think Epic's in the picture. I know Epic was mentioned and talked about by Phil or whoever else. I don't think that one will happen personally. And if they do move forward with something, it will be one or the other. I don't think it would be both. If it was going to be one, it'd be Steam. But I just have a lot of like general questions of like, is it all your Steam library that you could access, or like, because like my first thought that I went to was, can I play my PlayStation games on Steam on the Xbox? Because that would be the ultimate troll. Well, I would say no.
I would assume it would be similar to what they currently have with Game Pass Ultimate, where there's a list active specifically for consoles, and then there's another list specifically active for PC.
Right.
Because like there's the whole Riot Games stuff on Xbox Game Pass, and like you can't even access any of that stuff on your console, but it's right there on the Game Pass window PC app. So
true. And honestly, there's also just another layer to this that I don't feel like is being talked about. Like, there's all this conversation that popped up, you know, involving Steam being on Xbox and stuff. What if that's not actually the conversation? The actual conversation is Xbox trying to get on Steam for the Steam Deck.
Yeah.
And have Xbox game where you don't have to uninstall the Steam OS to like uninstall like Windows, because you can do that pretty easily on the Steam Deck, and then you can access Game Pass, whatever. What if with the Steam OS they have Xbox Game Pass built in? What if that's the whole conversation?
That's what I was saying is like a partnership deal where you connect your accounts and have it. Okay, here's the weird thing that I thought of as you were talking there. If there is some partnership, and you can buy it on one or the other and have access to it wherever. Primarily with exclusions to, like, you couldn't play PC only games or PlayStation games on your Xbox.
Yep.
What? Because I have games that I've downloaded on Game Pass where I've bought DLC for the game because I didn't have to buy the game. But then I've bought the game on
Steam.
On Steam. Mm-hmm. Also, there's weird instances where some specific games have interactions that don't make sense between Steam and the Microsoft Store and downloading through Game Pass. Mm-hmm. Like, already there's weird stuff that goes on there. But if I buy a game on Steam, but I had the DLC on Game Pass, would I have access to it?
That's a good question. That's a great question. I would say
because there are weird instances where I bought a game I played a game on Game Pass, really enjoyed playing the game, so I bought the DLC for it there.
Yeah.
But I also own the game on Steam and don't have the DLC there, or I have separate DLCs,
right,
or something. But there are weird instances like that.
That would be a very weird file conundrum, because even if you did link those accounts and whatnot, it would be a hard line of where does all that data follow. Are they on the same cloud storage server? Are they on separate storage servers? And if there is, or if they're on separates, what would the merge be like? So, I mean, there's a lot of technicality there and stuff that would have to be addressed.
Yeah.
Of whether it's even a possibility.
Okay, fun little fact here. So, Solasta.
Okay.
Solasta is a game where I bought it on Steam, but then it was on Game Pass. So I played it primarily on Game Pass, and then I bought DLC for it there. I do not have, and then I've rebought everything on Steam because I wanted to play it there.
Yeah.
And in case it left Game Pass, I would have access to it. Fun fact: I do not have access to the DLCs that I bought through Game Pass or anything on my Steam account. But the characters that I created when I played the game on Game Pass exist in my Steam game.
Okay.
So I see how that would work. So more or less, when the game's running, it's looking very specifically for the character files throughout wherever it is on your computer. So that's what it would be finding.
True.
But it brings back to like
but
the
it doesn't,
DLC thing.
Yeah, but it doesn't find
The DLC.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
Well, not even the DLC. It doesn't find everything.
Only
Like
the characters.
Not even all of them.
Oh.
I don't know if there's a limit to what it pulled, or if it was pulling from there. Realized that was the wrong file in that. But I've had like some other, like that's a specific instance.
Yeah.
I've had a couple others where like characters show up here and there on some other games.
So that just sounds like an interesting coding thing of where the game is looking for specifically those files.
I think it's just searching for the files, and it's looking everywhere on
Yeah.
the PC, and it doesn't care that it was Game Pass or if it was Steam.
It
or
just
where
matches the search criteria, and it's like, okay, here it is. We're going to pull it. That is an interesting coding thing. So in truth, based on that, if you know how to code, you could probably pull the DLC coding from your Game Pass file and put it into your Steam file and activate it.
Yeah. Which is because I don't know if that would be because this is one of the only few instances that I've actively noticed it, because let's be honest, in a game like that, I created a whole bunch of characters for a whole bunch of different campaigns and stuff that I played.
Yeah.
But I haven't played a lot of games on both Steam and Game Pass. Probably the one that I've played the most on both would be Deep Rock Galactic.
Mm-hmm.
But in that instance, there's no crossover or anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, it'd be interesting to see if some sort of partnership agreement was done, how they would try to implement it. I like the idea of a partnership. I do not like the idea of Steam showing up on Xbox.
I like the idea of Xbox showing up on Steam Deck. That's my favorite idea out of this
That
whole
would
thing.
be more my idea where this would go based on Phil Spencer's whole stance of we want you to be able to game everywhere that he's had for years.
Yeah. I feel like that would also potentially impact whatever this Xbox handheld is, though.
But then it would also impact Sony whining.
Also true. No, this was just a really interesting conversation that came out this week. There are so many layers to it.
Yes, there is.
Like, there's so many different aspects you have to think about. And the funny thing is, like, let's say in a hypothetical world, Steam comes to Xbox, right? And they have, like, all these restrictions of, like, you know, certain games you cannot play because it's just Xbox can't run it.
I was about to say no console compatibility.
Or, you know, it's like a Sony game or whatever. You know, some smart son of a bitch out there is going to find a way to hack around that and going to be playing God of War on Xbox.
Oh,
like,
easily.
Like, that's going to happen. Like, within the first week of Steam being on the Xbox, that's going to happen.
Sure, you're giving him a week. I give him a couple hours.
And that's going to be my favorite part about the whole thing. But I don't know. It's a very interesting thought. Like I said, my favorite part about it is Game Pass going to Steam Deck. But if that happens, it's like, you know, what's the point of an Xbox handheld? I think there can still be a point if you have just like your native library, you know what I mean, that you can just you know, take with you.
Yeah. I mean, you're kind of halfway there already, because
Yeah.
most Xbox games that are available on Steam, when you buy them and launch them, you still have to have the Xbox client to run, or at least sign into, and you're just running it through Steam. So it's like it's halfway built in, at least to the PC variant, not necessarily the Steam Deck variant.
Right. Gonna be an interesting thing to see. Give it like half a year, and let's see if any big news comes out of it. But still, once again, just shout out to Jeff Keighley and his connections, man. Why the fuck was he in that call? I don't know. Like, you're looking at the people in this call, and it's just like, all right, higher up at Steam, higher up at Xbox, higher up at Xbox. Jeff Keighley. Just hanging out.
He just jumped in to hang out.
He did. He really did.
He didn't know they were having a business meeting.
Yeah, he's just like, hey, guys, what's
just
going on? You guys want to run some rounds in Halo?
He's just looking at his PC. Who's in a voice chat?
Yeah.